Hi, I'm the Side Hustle King. This is the second edition of my podcast, which will compare side hustle earnings on a week-by-week basis. This edition of the podcast will look at my earnings for Uber, Airbnb, eBay, and YouTube. We'll look at the weekly earnings, weekly costs, and hours spent to achieve the weekly income. Uber earnings for the week were £523.32 for 12 hours driving time. This was actually 15 hours working, allowing for periods when I did not have jobs and driving home after my last job. I also spent half an hour getting my tires changed and half an hour traveling to and from the garage for a car service, so 16 hours in total. I'm really disappointed in this week's earnings for Uber. Last year, the evening before Good Friday was the best evening of the year, where I earned £350 in 3.5 hours. This year, hoping for more of the same, I worked 6 hours and 50 minutes and only earned £289. I think the difference in earnings was down to last Easter being on a payday weekend. What is interesting about this is that Uber actually lost £58.29 on my weekly earnings. This was a big week for my costs. The weekly costs for this were £99 for petrol, pension contribution of £38.97, £279.55 for a service and MOT, and £312 for 2 new tires. I could have spent much less on tires, but from experience, the better the quality, the longer they last. The more time you spend in the garage waiting for tires to be changed, the less hours you have to be earning. For Airbnb this week, we have had nights 8 to 14 of a 30-night booking. The earnings for this booking are £472.50 for 7 of the nights. The other 16 nights' earnings will be accounted for on future weeks. The Airbnb fees we pay are £17.01, and I estimate the utility bills at £1.33 per night, so a total of £9.33. The total time spent on the Airbnb this week was 15 minutes washing and tumble drying sheets and towels. The guest wants to do their own cleaning, which is saving us time. But I do have concerns that we cannot inspect our property for a 30-day period. Let's see how this turns out at the end of the 30 days. My one and only eBay purchase this week was a purchase of 20 number 256GB 10.9-inch iPads from Currys. I've ordered 10 in silver and 10 in blue. These were £251.97 each, so a total £5,039.40. All the orders have been dispatched and should have been delivered today, but the DPD tracking shows the deliveries are held at a depot. I have a feeling that Currys may be recalling the orders as they don't like the volume that I've ordered. Fingers crossed that they arrive. The cheapest one of these on eBay is £359.99. Depending on which courier I use, this should clear circa £90 profit per iPad. I'm likely to list these at £329.99 each, though, to try and sell them reasonably fast. Based on the sales history, 5 of these sell on eBay each month, so I'd assume 3 of these will take about 4 months to sell. On YouTube last week, I posted one video which took me 3 hours to make, and I received no income. So I've put the weekly comparison into a spreadsheet, and clearly Uber makes the most money, but Airbnb makes the most per hour worked. YouTube seems to be the worst side hustle, but I expect this is going to take serious time to build up subscribers and views. eBay is the most cash-hungry, as I currently have over £5,000 laid out and no profit. Thanks for watching the video, and hopefully you found this video useful. If you want to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe. If you've got any suggestions for future videos, please leave them in the comments. Thanks!